We've managed to identify all of the officers fragged by Wagner PMC when they shot down this Il-22 command and control plane during their march toward Moscow on June 24, 2023. The plane was Il-22 number 75917 of the 610th Center for Combat Use and Retraining of Military Transport Aviation Flight Personnel. This was the squadron commander and deputy command of the 610th Center, Lieutenant Colonel Artem Mikhailovich Milovanov. He was 43 years old, had 2,800 flight hours, and previously served in Syria. This was the navigator of the aircraft and training officer of the 610th Center, Major Gennady Mikhailovich Belyakin. He was 50 years old, had 3,520 flight hours, and previously served in Syria. This was the head of the Onboard Communications Center, Major Alexander Sviridov. He was 47 years old, had 2,600 flight hours, and previously served in Syria. This was the flight commander, Captain Artem Sharoglazov. He was 31 years old and had 1,140 flight hours. This was the head of onboard engineering, Captain Igor Ivanovich Volochilov. He was 49 years old and had 923 flight hours. This was the senior onboard engineer, Captain Viktor Sergeyevich Popov. He was 43 years old and had 1,700 flight hours. This was the deputy flight commander, Lieutenant Nikita Golubev. He was 24 years old and had 1,300 flight hours. This was the senior radio operator, Senior Warrant Officer Sergey Starushok. He was 49 years old, had 2,400 flight hours, and previously served in Syria. This was the senior onboard mechanic, Senior Sergeant Alexey Alexandrovich Skrykov. He was 29 years old and had 360 flight hours. And finally, this was the senior air radio operator, Senior Sergeant Viktor Podrepny. He was 42 years old. All said and done, this one aircraft contained 16,743 hours worth of flight experience on board. That's 698 days, or nearly 2 full years of straight flight time, shot down by their own side. Welcome to the list, Artem, Gennady, and Alexander.